Good morning, friends. Hi, how are you? For all of you new cookies out there, my name is Donna. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy that you found me. And if you are interested in colorful, grungy, princess, sparkly eye looks, and you're like maybe like being told that you can't wear that stuff anymore because you're too dang old, you found the right place because I'm breaking all the rules, that's for dang sure. Today, in the spirit of the Sephora beauty event that will be happening starting next month, I am doing, well, in a couple of days, in a few days, I am doing some Sephora suggestions for you, as well as giving you a little peek into what I might be purchasing. So for those of you who are unaware, Sephora does an event it used to be like maybe once or twice a year, and now it's like more like 2 to 4 times a year, in which, depending on your tier, you do get a discount on the items that you're purchasing. Now, there are some brands that Sephora carries that Ulta does not, and that is kind of what I'm going to dive into today. What I do have to say is, over the years, that list that used to be humongous has gotten a lot smaller, and there isn't much that I can't buy at Ulta anymore that was or used to be only carried at Sephora. And Ulta just continues to grab on to a lot more brands that only Sephora had once upon a time. With that being said, also this sale event happens dependent on your tier. So if you are a Rouge member, which I am, even though I did not spend enough to hit Rouge last year because the world was on fire last year, they just slid whatever tier they were last year into this year as well, which is fantastic. Whatever that means, I'm eligible for 20% off in about a week. When you're VIB, you do get a 15% discount, and as a beauty insider, which is the lowest tier, you get a 10% discount. Now, I have to say, that's not much. I mean, 20% is not going to make or break the bank, honestly. And if you are an avid beauty spender, 20% means actually pretty much nothing to your wallet. What I would say is, now is the time to get those brands that maybe are just a smidge out of your reach, or maybe you just don't want to spend the money, that kind of money on, and utilize that percentage off to get them. I do have some items here. I'm also going to give you a sneak peek into some of the things that I'm going to pick up, but basically the items that I have here are more about the brands that I would peruse while in the Sephora mainframe or in Sephora's, to see if there's something that you want to pick up during the Sephora sale. They are not carried in Ulta, and if you are an Ulta spender, these would be the brands that you need to go after, because Ulta's events, in my opinion, are much better from the consumer perspective. We just got done with 21 Days of Beauty, or we're in our last week of 21 Days of Beauty. There is a ton of products on sale right now for 50% off. That is amazing. That is much better than 20% off. But they pick specific items for each day over a 3-week time frame, right? And I try not to blur the lines, so I try not to come in here and speak all this wonderful goody-goody-ness of Ulta, but truth be told, I think Ulta is a better establishment anyways. It's got anything a person needs, dependent on their price point. They do have prestige, they do have luxury to some extent, although I would say that that is where Sephora really reigns, is their luxury brands. They also have mass, so the things that you're going to be able to pick up in the drugstore or Walmart are all encompassed in that one building. So you can get pretty much anything that you want in that one building, whereas you can't with Sephora. I will also say that their rewards program is bar none 1,000 times better than the Sephora one. You have point modifiers, and you get point for point dollars towards your purchase next time you come in, if that's what you want, or you get point for point dollars towards anything. So like, whereas I save up all of my Ulta points until I hit like that 2,000 point tier and then spend $125 and get it all for free, somebody else might wait until they've got $8 saved up and take that off of their next order because they just don't go into Ulta that often, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter, but your points equate to dollars at Ulta, whereas your points at Sephora equate to little tiny sample size items for 100 points. So this item cost me $100. Let that sink in for just a second. With that said, there are several items that I love that I have to go to Sephora for, or to the site specifically for that brand. So I thought I would go over some things that I like to purchase when I'm thinking through the lens of the Sephora sale, because I know that I can't get them at Ulta. And the first thing I want to talk about is something that you guys have probably heard me rave over and over and over about, but this is a standard to every single Sephora haul that I do, and the reason why is because it is my everyday makeup brush cleaner, and that is this. So this is the Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleaner. This guy is $42 and has 32 ounces of product in it, but I at one point in time was told, you should try the IT Cosmetics makeup brush cleaner. It's so much cheaper. It's only $18. It's only $18 for 2 ounces of product, I think it is. In addition to that, this cleans it so much better than the IT Cosmetics makeup brush cleaner does. I feel like the IT Cosmetics makeup brush cleaner just kind of lets everything kind of settle into the brush. And this does not. This does have a little bit of a chemically scent to it, but they did try and make it a little more vanilla-y so it doesn't smell as harshly chemicaled. But this guy is going to quickly dry so that you can use it, wipe off your brush, and then use your brush all over again. And it is going to kill 99.99% of bacteria. It is such an amazing brush cleaner, and they do come in multiple different sizes. So if there's one thing that I can tell you that you absolutely have to put into your bag during the Sephora sale, it would be this guy. The next brand I want to talk about would be Natasha Denona. You all know that Natasha Denona is my favorite. With that said, there are a few things that she has that are more, you know, price point friendly, right? Like, let's say her foundations, her, you know, contours, her highlights are maybe price point friendly, but they're still freaking expensive. And a lot of people don't like to pay that price and would rather get something else. But with that said, she also has eyeshadow palettes, and eyeshadow palettes, her eyeshadow palettes specifically, are so expensive. So these two are the $129 version of her palettes, and this one is the gold palette. Now, if y'all have been here for very long, you know that this is my favorite Natasha Denona palette, and it looks not very colorful. So for all of you who see my eyes and you're like, what, that's all browns, this is amazing. It's got so much texture, so much nuances to the colors, so many different formulations within this palette. Like, I just think it is a beautiful palette, and I would 110% suggest it. A newer favorite of mine, and you guys will be able to tell because it hardly looks used at all as opposed to the gold one, is this one. So again, not super colorful for those of you that know me to love color, but the greens in here are so pretty. That blue is gorgeous. The browns and the creams, there's just so much nuance again to this palette, and multiple different formulations of her shadows in here. I think that all of her palettes are, bar none, the best out there. I do have a ton of them here. I have 3 more coming to me in the mail, so there's that, and I have more obviously than what is right here in front of me. And then just some other things that I have from her. Her contour powder is one of my favorite contour powders. It is a beautiful contour powder. I also have a single highlight from her that is the Super Glow, which is beautiful. You can't go wrong utilizing this sale for some of those Natasha Denona products that you want to get into your collection that you can't afford any other time, or that you don't want to afford any other time. Because it's not necessarily about can't afford. I know for the longest time I pushed Natasha Denona out my mind because I could afford her, but I didn't want to. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous to pay that amount of money for an eyeshadow palette until I got my first one in my collection, and then it was like, oh, okay. I get it now. Another brand that is a favorite of mine for certain things that you cannot pick up at Ulta Beauty is Fenty. So I do have, you can't see them, but I do have some of her eyeshadows as well. I would say that if you're going to go Fenty Beauty, do not pick up eyeshadows from Fenty Beauty. I don't think that that is their cash cow. I think that their eyeshadows are actually kind of not that superb. Just saying. What I do think is superb is their complexion products and their highlighters and bronzers. Like, they are so gorgeous. So this is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear. This is a beautiful foundation, and this one was made for us dry skin girls that could not wear the very first foundation that they came out with because it was so dang matte and so dang dry. So this foundation, when I first put it on, I absolutely hated it, and I think it's because I utilized a sponge the first time I put it on. When I put this on with a brush and then go over it with a sponge, it is flawless. It is the most beautiful foundation on my skin, and I would suggest it 100,000 times. So if you're in the market to try some Fenty Beauty, I definitely would try that. But because I have this, I do have her new skin tint in my basket. I will be picking that up. I'm super excited. So again, this video is a little plethora of some suggestions for you, but also some things that I'm going to be picking up. Speaking of, I do have a Natasha Denona palette in there too. I am going to be picking up, you know, I hate it when her palettes come out roughly right around the same time as a sale because I want the palette, but I also know that there's a sale coming, but I also don't want to miss out on the palette, so there's that. I'm getting the Circle Loco palette, but I'm also getting the Glam palette just because the more and more I look at it, the more and more I want it. I bought it a while back and gave it to a friend. So one of my favorite things from this brand actually is their highlighters. So this is their Kilowatt Duo. This one is in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I have to tell you guys, I got this around my birthday a couple of years ago, and I've already got pan in this. This is the first highlighter that I have used naturally, so not in a project pan, that ended up with pan. I am going to reverse and pull that statement back just a smidge. I did put this into a project pan to get that pan, but I have to tell you it was in my project pan for all of 2 weeks. I think I used it 3 times before I had that pan. And these are beautiful. And then she also does phenomenal bronzers. They are beautiful powders. Fenty is a beautiful brand to pick up at the Sephora sale. Stay away from the eyeshadows though, they are no good. So the next one I have is Marc Jacobs. There are some items from Marc Jacobs I think are fantastic. His eyeshadows, these little 7-pan eyeshadow palettes, these are $50, you guys, $50. So now would be the time to pick them up. But I have 2 of his eyeshadow palettes and they are just stunning. This is newer to my collection, so I haven't quite really dug into it the way I have dug into this one, but it's stunning. This so pretty. You guys, look at the depth in this shadow, and it's just one swipe. So pretty and so shiny and beautiful. Like his eyeshadows are well worth the money. This bronzer, one of my favorite bronzers. I think it was in my if I only could choose one. This would be the bronzer that I would choose. This bronzer is so pretty, and it's got a little bit of warmth to it, but not enough that I can't also use it as a contour if I want to. I just think that it smells good, and it's huge. It's in a huge compact, so you're gonna get the bulk of your money worth. His highliners are some of my absolute favorite eyeliners. Urban Decay doesn't last on my wonky watery eye like Smashbox does. Smashbox doesn't last on my wonky watery eye like Marc Jacobs does. These eyeliners are so creamy, so beautiful, and these ones specifically are retractable, which I kind of like because the way that companies are putting their eyeliners together these days with that kind of like plasticky wood drives me effing bonkers. Like, I can't find a sharpener that sharpens them easily. Like, I feel like it's always a struggle. So those are the creamiest, the nicest, the most amazing eyeliners. They buff out really well, but they also stay in my crazy watery eye. And then his sequins. His sequins are the only way that I feel super comfortable wearing glitter on my eyes. These are beautiful glitters, and they're like pressed in a pot glitters, but God, they are just so pretty, so creamy. It looks so beautiful on your eyes. And if there's anybody out there telling you you're over 40 and shouldn't be wearing glitter on your eyeballs, this is the way to do it. They do not crease, they do not create texture, they're just so pretty. Dior is another brand that isn't carried at Ulta, so this and this both have been on my wish list for so long. I have a friend that swears by the Dior lipsticks, and she not recently, but also got some Dior highlighters and went on and on and on about them. And Lisa's made me buy so many items just because of the way she talks about them. But this highlighter has quickly become one of my favorite highlighters. I know it doesn't look like I've used it, but it is just so freaking pretty. Can you guys see that? Like, I barely tapped into that. It is just so pretty. And it doesn't do anything to emphasize texture if you find that you have a little bit of texture issue. This is such a beautiful highlighter. The other thing by Dior that I would suggest is this. This is a mascara. This is the Dior Pump and Show. This mascara is my favorite mascara. I actually got this for one of those 100-point perks from Sephora and ended up loving it so much that it went on to a wish list for me to purchase at some other date. But then I wasn't going to spend $30 on a damn mascara. I purchased this mascara over Christmas time. So this was on my wish list for 2 years. I liked it that much that it stayed on my wish list for 2 years. It's a beautiful mascara, and it's got this like crazy wonky core right here where you pump it up to get the product in. I haven't opened it yet. I've got one that I'm using, so I don't want to ruin it. Otherwise I would show you, because mascara doesn't last for very long. Milk makeup is one of those things that isn't carried at Ulta Beauty as well, and this is one of my favorite makeup primers. And this actually, I think, is made more for oily skin types. It's tacky, so it feels really weird at first, but you just, instead of like rubbing it around on your face, just press it into your face. It does remarkable things for holding on to your makeup. And then I just have these in sample sizes, but I do have the Holographic Stick and the lip and cheek tint and the bronzer from Milk, and these are amazing cream products. Like, I love the ease of use of these. This blush is such a beautiful blush. I just take like my makeup sponge and tap it on the top of it and then tap it onto my cheek. It is so beautiful, so creamy, and these are beautiful for not emphasizing texture. Again, if you're aging, if you're mature, cream products are going to be so beautiful on your skin because they don't emphasize texture. They actually help it. They don't exacerbate it. So Milk Makeup has some really great cream options for all things highlighter, bronzer, and they're multifaceted sticks, so I could use this on my cheeks or my lips. So the next item I have here is this. This is the Bobbi Brown Face Base. You guys, I love this primer. If you are a dry skin girl, if you are a mature lady, if you are a mature man, it doesn't matter. This is a moisturizing primer that is so good and smells just divine. It smells so beautiful on your skin. I also wasn't going to pick this up because this is like $62. My man got it for me for Christmas, which was so nice of him. And this would be the time to pick this guy up. It is such a beautiful moisturizing primer. I feel like everything that I put on top of this when I do have this on just looks beautiful. And if you look it up on YouTube, go ahead, put it in the search bar. There are so many people that love this product. It just feels great on your skin. It feels like soothing to your skin, and everything you put on top of it looks amazing. It says it's a vitamin-enriched face base. It's an all-in-one primer and moisturizer. It is so, so nice. If I wasn't hoarding it and didn't still have almost a full container of it, I would probably buy another one. This is Sol de Janeiro. This is their Brazilian Boom Boom Cream, and I know this has probably ran its gamut. I know that you've probably heard of this stuff 100 times right now, but what I am saying to you is this is worth it, and this is something that you should be spending your money on during these Sephora sales, because this is $45 and this is definitely worth it. It's such a beautiful moisturizer for your body, and it gives you, like, especially rolling into the summertime, you put it on, it's got kind of like a little bit of a glimmeriness to it without being glittery, and it smells divine. It smells like you are on a vacation, and we all could use a little bit of that right now. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is a godsend for lips that are dry. I use this every single night. I have also used this product to help heal my daughter's chapped and cracking lips, because my little 9-year-old gets the worst chapped lips on the planet. So I have utilized this stuff over and over and over again to help her with that problem. I think this is probably the third one that I've picked up, but with that said, this is also relatively inexpensive. Do pick some up because it's amazing. Patrick Ta blushes, specifically these ones, these duos, are so beautiful and they last for so long. And again, mature aging skin, this is going to be the love of your life. Like, I think that this blush not only goes on so beautifully onto my skin, and honestly, you guys, if you don't know how to use a cream blush, you can just take your wet, little tiny beauty blender, or big one, it doesn't matter, dip it in, and then just kind of pat it onto your skin. This is so pretty. It doesn't emphasize texture, and it lasts on your skin for such a long time. Like, you're not going to put it on and find that it is gone within a couple hours. His blushes are the most amazing blushes. So, so pretty. And then I have some Melt products. You guys know I do love Melt. I do have a couple of palettes right there. They're no longer available, so I'm not going to talk about those. But Melt Cosmetics you can also pick up at Sephora, and for the longest time you couldn't. So there's that. They are a relatively expensive brand. I would suggest finding one of their palettes that you absolutely love and picking it up. But with that said, they also have their stacks on sale at Sephora right now. So get an extra 20% off that and get a little bit of a taste of what they do in eyeshadows. I have heard that the stack formulation is different than the palette formulation. I would agree to that to some extent, but I don't have the biggest stack versus palette mindset. If I'm honest, I only have 2 stacks and 2 palettes. So I have one of their duo blushes from the Digital Dust Duo. This one is in Raw Honey, and this is more of a I would say more of a like blush topper than I would say a blush, because it's very, very highlighty, but it is so, 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 so pretty. And then I also have, so blushes, you guys, is where I'm going with this. I also have this blush. This is in Honey Thief, and this is just one of their powder blushes. It looks so pale, but it is so beautiful on the skin. And then I also have a blush light from them, which is kind of supposed to be like a highlighter blush. God, it is so pretty. It is so deep, but it is so pretty. I love their blushes. Their blushes are so, so beautiful. Their eyeshadows are also amazingly pigmented. If you're new, I wouldn't say go the eyeshadow route, just because they are so pigmented. They could be super frustrating to somebody who maybe is not experienced with Melt. If you are not experienced with Melt, I would suggest going the more like She's in Parties route. Then I would suggest going the like Gemini route, just because greens are already harder to work with than the shades that are in the She's and Parties. The last thing that I want to talk about as far as a brand is Makeup Forever. They have some amazing lip pencils, and their pencils are actually good for lips and eyes, so that makes them so much easier to think about. And this is not the right color for me. This is actually slated for a friend. I picked up the wrong color, obviously, but this foundation happens to be probably the most naturally beautiful foundation I have ever in my life put on my face. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and I could probably use every single foundation in my collection and just buy this one over and over and over again for the rest of my life. It is so pretty. It's breathable, it moves with your face, it's comfortable, it gives you a good amount of coverage. I do like a medium coverage. This is rather high medium in my opinion. I think that it could even be a little bit more sheared out to be my perfect foundation, but I still like it a lot. I love this foundation a lot. So much so that I was in such a hurry to get it, I bought the wrong shade. So I would say that those are the items that I would definitely steer you to if you were asking me for Sephora sale recommendations. I can tell you what I have on my list is some of the things that but I can't speak to you about them because I just don't know much about these items yet. But I do have that Fenty Beauty skin tint on my list. I am buying that in color 7, which is a fair medium with warm neutral undertones. I do have another bottle of Cinema Secrets on here. I have the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette and the Natasha Denona Glam eyeshadow palette because I think I need both at this point in time. This is a good time to also think about fragrances. So I do have fragrance kits from Juliet Has a Gun, and I also have fragrance kits from Atelier. Is that how you say that? I also want to try Nest fragrances out, so that's on my list as well. I have a cream blush and a cream bronzer from the new brand that's being carried at Sephora called LYS. I'm really interested in this brand and really interested lately in cream products. So with that said, that is what I have for you today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed it enough that you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels out here. I also hope to see you in the future. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. I would really love to welcome you into my YouTube family here. If you're interested in seeing something else from me, YouTube will be generating another video for you to watch here in a second. And yeah, guys, just stay safe out there, cookies. Stay healthy and love each other, but love each other from afar. And until next time, bye, friends.